inside the Sound Ranch here, where the magic happens with a pretty magical guy and a pretty magical console. Corey, thanks for making the time to talk today.
You guys.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. We're in the room with some pretty, I don't want to say prestigious stuff, but tell me about this pretty cool board that you got here. This is not a small item.
So this is a Trident 80B, and what makes this a little more special is that it did belong to the late great Frank Zappa. I purchased it through Julian's auction house back in 2023 of November, and yeah, we got it from Los Angeles, and it made its way up to Prince George. It's still one of the most sought after recording consoles out there. So
yeah, I was going to say, talk to me a little bit about the style of this, because now people might wonder if things changed since Frank Zappa used this. I mean, it's obviously a long time ago, but it's still as good as new, is what you were saying.
Yeah, so an analog board, I mean, that's what started everything. I mean, anything from the 50s to even the late 90s. You know, a lot of the modern studios, whether it's Dave Grohl's Sound City, he's running a Neve analog. You know, Bryan Adams is running another Neve analog console. So, I mean, they're still out there. Green Day recorded quite a few albums on a board similar to this. Stone Temple Pilots, Guns N' Roses tracked Appetite for Destruction on an 80B. Motley Crue is tracked on an 80B.
Huh.
So, you know, the board, they call this board the sound of rock and roll.
Okay.
There was a guy recently that I've been put in contact with who was an engineer for Frank Zappa at his studio. And he's trying to put me in contact with Frank's engineer for all these years.
Wow.
But we still have, this is the instruction manual. And when you go through it, there's still some of Frank's writing that's in the book.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's just little notes occasionally. You know, nothing too crazy. But
but still.
Find some pencil marks, you know, there is some of his writing here. But, you know, so Frank knew about the electronic side of the console. And he was very... You know, for his time, he was very with it and understood, you know, sound and what made a good console. And
awesome. And now tell me about you and the Sound Ranch here too, because obviously you don't just get a board like this for fun. You want to use it.
Right. So the Hawkins Sound Ranch has, our slogan is commercial sound on an indie budget. I went to school for sound engineering. Just being in a band, I was always fascinated with the technical side of things. And so, you know, when I moved here, we had an unfinished basement. We decided that, you know, we really wanted to create a destination recording studio. And I wanted something, you know, being a musician, I know that, you know, we're not all millionaires.
No.
It's very expensive to be a musician these days. Prices are ridiculous. Guitar, even maintenance.
Yeah, and you make 0 cents off every stream.
Right. If it weren't for, you know, Frank Zappa or Dee Snider, you know, they were huge proponents in fighting for free speech and for making sure that there was no government overreach into music today.
Leave it as creative as it can be.
That's right. And if it weren't for people like Frank, then just to testify in front of Congress, you know, it may be different. Our music might be censored. So we do have him and others to thank. So
pretty iconic. If people are also wondering about how to help you out and get started, how do they do it? There's a fundraiser?
There is. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to raise $5,000 through a GoFundMe. You can look up the Hawkins Sound Ranch, and what we're essentially doing is trying to raise money to restore the board and bring her back. She doesn't need a lot. There's a few frozen pots here and there. A lot of the parts, actually the majority of the parts are still readily available. And if we needed upgrade, it's easier to put in better stuff today. One of the VU meters isn't working, but, you know, we want to put some LED lights in the back because it's cheaper to actually run.
Right.
So yeah, sadly, there's only one place in the world that makes the cables, which happens to be in Los Angeles.
Of course.
A gentleman named Bruce, the Desk Doctor.
Now, I'll leave you with this. If there was a goal in mind for you of someone you'd love to record or do something with, who would it be?
Culture Wall, Jelly Roll, Post Malone.
Those are your top three.
Top three. Didn't even have to think about it.
Look at that. It's almost like you knew exactly what I was going to ask. Oh, man. This is so cool. Well, I hope the best for you, and make sure you call me when Post Malone or Jelly Roll shows up here, or Coulter. Thanks so much, Corey.
Thank you.